Diego, and I'm going to show you a little bit of the San Diego Zoo since I'm here. It's 10 to 20 degrees colder than it usually is, than the average, which is really stinky because that means it is actually cooler here in San Diego than it is in Pittsburgh. And we've been talking in world history class about culture of a people, which is language, art, and religion. And I'm hoping to show you some of that because you remember we've talked about the Spanish coming up through Mexico and up to California. And so we're going to see a lot of that. The first plant I want to show you is the bird of paradise. And it's too cold to grow them where we are. Can you see the side of it? So this is a bird of paradise. It looks kind of like a peacock if you look at it. This would be his beak and the little fringy things on top. So we'll see what we see. So this is an example of Spanish architecture. The top looks pretty much like the Alamo, which is in your world history book. And the arched doorways. Here's your flamingos. Aren't they cute? You see how their knees bend backwards? This is a yellow-backed duiker. He's about 3 feet tall, and there's his buddy taking a nap. This little guy is called a babirusa. About 2.5 feet tall. He looks kind of like a warthog a little bit. He's got tusks like a pig. This guy is a lesser spot-nosed guenon, is my best guess, and it says that he's diabetic. I don't know if they're diabetic as a breed or just that one little guy. But they're cute. This is those little capuchin monkeys. You remember on that movie, Zookeeper? I think this is one of those. Here's Mr. Turtle going for a swim. Woohoo! That will be fun to be able to do that. There's his buddy. What a pretty little yellow bird. Let's see what they're eating for lunch. Looks like dog food, rice, potatoes, that kind of stuff. These are tapirs, and they're quite large. Looks like about 200 pounds or so. And their noses are very pliable, so they can move them around like a horse, and except longer. So like they can move tree branches around with their nose. This is a Burmese python. His head is about the size of my hand without the fingers, and he goes all the way back there. This is a pygmy marmoset, and he's so tiny. You could put him in your little front pocket, and he would fit just perfectly. So cute. Okay, let's go underwater. What do we find? Hippopotamus. Its head is as big as Mr. Dennis. And this is bamboo. It goes way up high. This guy has an itch. That feels good. Yeah, right there. Uh-oh, something on my toe. This guy has something between his toes. He's checking it out. He's about as big as a volleyball. Something in my toes, he says. What are you looking at? Do you remember when we were talking about cactus and succulents? Well, this is a succulent. See how it soaks up the water in its leaves? So when it's really dry, it can use up what it's got. We can grow these in the house about 1 foot tall, but this is a big bush out here in the open. See these guys eating? They are tall. If the guy was stretching his neck up like he is right there, he'd be as tall up to my shoulder. Pretty. Some little gazelles, they found out how to reach. Here's a polar bear. His feet are about the size of volleyballs, same diameter. And there's his buddy. This polar bear and his twin were found with their mama who had died, and so they brought them to the zoo and they were 3 months old, and now they are 12. This is a reindeer, but I don't see any red noses. They're short, maybe about 3.5, 4 feet tall in the back. It's a beautiful gazelle.
Mm.
These are the ones that are always getting chased by the cheetahs. I guess it's a dik-dik, it's related to gazelles. He's scratching. Here's Koala. He's just about the size of my little sweetheart Brinkley, my Shih Tzu puppy. Cute and sleepy. What a pretty face on this female lion. I think they said she was 6 years old. Here's a pretty little jaguar. Like maybe the size of a Labrador. So pretty. Got something yummy to chew on. The elephant's kind of scratching her fanny against the other one. This morning they were having their nails done. Every day they hold each foot out of the bars and the zookeeper files them and trims their nails and makes them all nice and soft. And they said that floor that they're standing on is not really concrete, it's padded so that their feet don't get injured. Another nice little succulent. You can see how much water they can store in those leaves. Feels like green beans. And this big old thing is a kind of cactus and succulent. Ouch! You see that little door there in the middle? That's where the elephant sticks his little foot in there so that the zookeeper can safely trim his nails every day and give him a pedicure. Have you ever wondered how big an elephant's butt is? Well, it's big. This is a great big old pretend tree for the elephants to get shade, because if they had real trees in there, the elephants would just uproot them and knock them down. He's chewing cud like a cow. And there's his buddies. Here's a little meerkat and his buddy. Oh, beautiful plant. This is a hyena, like on the Lion King. And I guess their jaws are so sharp that they could just crush your bones. He's about knee-high, maybe thigh-high. Kind of cute, actually. This is an African wild painted dog. Isn't he pretty? Now that's funny colors. This is a South American peccary, and he's, oh, not quite as big as my waist. These are my favorite. These are barrel cactuses, or cacti, whatever. This is a red panda. He's so cute. He's about just a little bit bigger than, well, a large cat.
Around here that can feed different animals. You know, we can grow many different browse that feed giraffe, unless it's a smaller cub.
They have a baby panda here at the zoo, but he's sleeping.
But yes, very short.
They only have him out for 2 hours a day, just to
but anyway,
not stress him out.
very large round heads. Now,
This guy's living the life.
Doing? There we go. He's using these canines here. A thumb. What kind of thumb? Believe it or not. And you can actually see the padding a little bit better on Yunza's paws. But they have a padding where that wrist bone is. And it does look like a thumb, but it's actually a wrist bone. So they wedge the bamboo adaptation. They also have that really cool adaptation, that pseudo thumb, and they also eat bamboo. Bamboo, maybe
Okay,
they
you
wanted
can
to
see
start
the
a trend.
baby on the webcam if you go to that site.
So bamboo though is mostly fiber, right?
//
Yeah.
SandyGoZoo.org/ATP.
So if you're a carnivore non-vegetarian, do you all day and night? They gotta make sure that they're eating enough food. It's also why they sleep throughout the whole day and night, because it takes a lot of energy to digest that food, and that's why I say they're awake or asleep at any time.
This is the aviary, and the aviary is where there are birds. And it's like a great big cage, and the birds are running all around. and you can just walk through them. This little guy is almost, I could probably touch him. He's eating some kind of melon. Very pretty. There's a really pretty one. I'm probably going to get pooped on here in a second because I'm walking under all these trees full of birds. This is a beautiful habitat for the gorillas to live in. They're inside when we see them. But I hope you remember what habitat, community, and population mean when we studied it earlier. This is what Mr. Dennis looks like on his day off.
Just running around.
The gorilla. This is another nice pose. Funny. He's big too. And this is Mom and the baby watching Daddy be lazy.
Daddy. Maybe that's his mommy. I don't know. What do you think?
Whatever.
Emily and Jane, come stand near the lady with the orange and black jumper.
Just quit. Leave me alone, kid. Oh, another day at the zoo.
Do not push back. Oh, God.
I saw you. He's dropping. No. Yeah, look at those teeth. I didn't notice. I didn't know there was two.
This is a sloth bear. This is a Bornean sun bear, and he's got a great big bone. He's holding it up with 4 feet. He's gonna come see me. Hope he doesn't bite. Suppose not. Hey, Mr. Peacock, you're getting a little close there, buddy. Talking about Spanish influences. Here's all this tile work that's everywhere. Do you see that fish? Okay, this is goodbye from the zoo. I bought you guys some postcards for your souvenir, so I will see you on Monday. Bye. I wanted to show you a little bit more some Spanish style architecture with the tile roofs and the balconies, the arches, the stucco, and the large courtyards. All very Spanish. Okay, here's the courtyard, and right over there is the Pacific Ocean. There we go. It is cold and it is windy, and tomorrow